I like that. Wow. So I was looking at the flyer right now. It's at 8 o'clock, but guess what, y'all? We're early today. Welcome again to another East County Voices. We're your hostesses. I'm Carlos. We got Miss Patty, Mary, and I don't know where he's at. This way in mine.
Don Fernando. Don Fernando Sandoval. Yeah.
I like that.
Yes. Welcome. Hi, everyone.
Hey, y'all. So we have an exciting show today. We're going to introduce you to Fernando, but first let's just do a quick round robin, Carlos and Patty and Mary introductions, and then a quick recap of what happened to this week. It's been a busy week.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm Mary, just a regular person, co-host.
Welcome in, Sean.
Community
mother,
advocate.
Amazing mother.
Mom, yeah.
Friend. Yeah. ¿Qué más?
Your turn.
Mary, there's a lot more to say about Mary. Mary the other day at the city council was like Mary, like a warrior, like this is Mary. It was pretty amazing. I was inspired the other day. But introductions. Hi everyone. I'm Patricia Granados. Go by Miss Patty. Mom, homie, friend, combat veteran, advocate, activist. Yeah, I like to cook. That's about it.
Me too.
Carlos? I know.
I know. Where am I at? I'm right here. Carlos Aguilar, but nobody knows the Aguilar. Everybody thinks my last name is Tacos. So out here, But anyways, advocate, cook, local taquero out here in the East Bay. And yeah, I mixed the two, where we go out sometimes and reach out to the houseless community and I'll make food for them. A lot of times tacos. They always ask for tacos. So that's what I do. Like to cook and I like to help people. So,
Awesome.
Anyway.
Well, we have a special guest today, Fernando Sandoval. And before Mary gets into the bio and questions, we will just do some quick updates. Like the past 2 weeks, what's been going on the past 2 weeks, y'all? City council.
The city council meeting.
Pause for eviction.
We did. We hired a Black city manager woman, which is super exciting.
There she is.
The Pedro thinks it's exciting too.
We have a new city manager. It's official, right? It's official. We needed one. We've been looking for one for a while because we're in the learning. I'm still learning a lot about city politics, policies, roles. And we've gone through about 5 different city managers in the past 3 years, I believe. So we had a temporary, and then now we have a potential full-time, which is exciting. It's exciting. I checked out her bio. Great. I'm excited for Antioch. Majority, like everyone in there was pretty. It was interesting. People were like, no. People were like, yes, hello. But that's some big things. The biggest thing is like also housing protections for the families, for the kids that have been unjustly evicted. I wish they would make it retroactive because there were immigrants that were targeted and discriminated and threatened with getting deported and it was terrible. A lot of families were affected. That family that I'm speaking of doesn't even have their deposit back yet. So that's like something on the to-do list to help them, assist them in going to the court and filing a civil suit. It's a lot of work that's happening out here. What else?
We went to an NAACP meeting last week.
We did.
So if you're part of the NAACP, they set their voting date for November 14th between 4 and 8 p.m. So that's exciting to
Side note
I
about
guess
the
they're still taking applications as well for people in good standing to run for the different positions that they have.
Mhm. And not everybody knows what the NAACP is. I gave a youth a ride the other day to school because sometimes when I'm driving, if I see there's kids and they need a ride and I know them, like, all right, let's go. You need a ride, or if they ask me, I will give them a ride. And I said, hey, have you heard of the NAACP? And she hadn't. So I'm not surprised that there's like a whole generation that doesn't know of the legacy that was started. And so NAA stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. So that's the NAACP. They are looking for members. It's important to just be part in different spaces where there is support for some kind of social change and social justice and equality. So we're happy to be part of that. And anyone else that would like to learn and be part. They were a little silent for me during the 2020 protests, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's great. Yeah.
I'm very inspired by the leadership and the youth. We've seen Gavin here before. He's definitely found his voice and has re-inspired me, many of us, I'm sure.
He
Yeah.
pumped us up.
Oh, the school
Especially at
board.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Stephanie got fired.
Mm-hmm.
So
Stephanie.
one step away from bullying people in professional positions, and a bigger step in the ability to start fresh and hopefully give our kids a chance.
Mm-hmm.
More transparency, more programs, more oversight. That's welcome.
Yeah, making sure that resources go to where they need to go. Unlike using LCAP funds for political agendas and bloggers, that wasn't cool.
No.
But we need good people in positions. Which
that's
is
where we get to talk to Mr. Fernando Sandoval. Welcome, welcome to our East County Voices. Today we're excited to hear yours.
No, it's
So why don't you have a moment and you can tell us a little bit about you? And
okay.
the mic's yours.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate this opportunity to come before you and present and talk about education, right? Because education is my thing. And let me talk to you a little bit about me. Let's start off with I'm an OG, right? Everybody knows what OG is.
Yes.
Pittsburgh OG, Pittsburgh OG, right? And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that being an OG. Um, but I grew up in Pittsburgh, but really I came to Pittsburgh. I was 5 years old, and before that I lived in a labor camp on the Sacramento River, and I did not know any English whatsoever. When I came to Pittsburgh when I was 5, I came and I lived in Columbia Park in El Pueblo, right? And I got to know that community very well, and I got to know a lot of diversity there. And I left, and I did a lot of things in Pittsburgh. I left Pittsburgh when I was 17. Some people went to college. You know, LMC wasn't built yet in Pittsburgh, right?
Wow.
That's how old I am. So LMC wasn't built yet. So some of my friends went to DVC, and I went to Vietnam.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
So it was a whole different path for me. But I was lucky. I was super smart, but we didn't have any money. We didn't have a car. My father died in a head-on collision when I was 9 years old off the Antioch Bridge. So that changed my trajectory on what I could do. But I did. But one thing he left me with was a library card, and he gave me that library card, and I went to the library and I read and I read and I read, and I'd go to high school football games and read the newspaper at the high school football games, and all my friends knew me. Oh, leave Fernando alone; he's cool, right? Right, and so because everybody was doing everything back in them days. That's in the 71, 72, and all the music was going on. Santana, Malo, all the music that was happening. We were listening to R&B, so we had a lot of that going on. And we going to the football games, Pittsburgh against Antioch. That was really big. So anyways, I got training in advanced electronics, where I got over 2,000 hours of advanced training. Okay, and you guys heard of that movie Top Gun
Yes.
or Hunt for Red October, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those systems, the CIC systems and the sonar systems, that's all the stuff I worked on,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
right? I worked on that. I was in a guy that I was a knucklehead, right? So I did all that, and so I went all over Vietnam. All kinds of stuff happened to me there, and I wrote a book about it. And the name of the book is From Tortilla Chips to Computer Chips. There you
there it
go. There's
is.
the book. There it
Got
is.
me,
And I
got me
and I
hungry.
talk some. Yeah, and it talks about my journey. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's very cool. It's not that expensive. It's very cool, and
It actually is really cool. I'll attest to it. I've gone through the first few chapters, and it's very engaging.
right, and yeah, and that surprised me. I'm surprised that I wrote it. Took me 4 years to write it.
Oh,
Right,
wow.
right. So it took some time, and I published it right as the pandemic came upon us. Right, and that's another story because I was partly paralyzed after the pandemic started and got us right.
Oh wow.
But
How are you
anyways,
doing now?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh
You got
man,
your
I'm so
mobility back?
busy. Yeah, I'm busy. I'm busy. I walk almost every day, 2 miles. I go out and I do stuff. I'm like, I'm energetic, right?
We love
And
that.
I gotta do that, because I'm about people. I love walking to Pittsburgh downtown. I talk to everybody that I can talk to because those are my old paper routes, downtown Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I talk to people, and I go to the stores, the tiendas, and it's refreshing to be among the living. To be among
Yes.
the living is refreshing. So while I was so when I got out of the service, I started working at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, right? And I was like working with a lot of physicists and stuff like that. And I worked on. I think there's a movie that just came out, Oppenheimer. You guys ever heard of that one?
Yes.
About the Nevada test bombs and stuff. Well, I
Yeah.
worked on that. I worked on that stuff. The
Oh,
Latino
that's
from
crazy.
Pittsburgh, downtown boy, right? And so I worked all around the world. I worked in technology and worked for IBM, General Electric. I worked in Maine. I worked in Washington State. I worked in Nevada. I worked in New York City. I ended up going to banking regulatory work, and then I ended up working in Dubai, Hong
Oh,
Kong,
wow.
Africa, Canada. I was everywhere. This little Latino from Pittsburgh was out there,
So
right? But
my friend, what was your favorite country to work in?
you know what? Every country offers something different. I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Geneva, Switzerland. You heard of Geneva, Switzerland? And
Yes.
they're and so they're famous because that's where they had their headquarters of the. Anyways, we went down there and we're checking it out, and I went to get some chocolate. Right, I went to get some chocolate in los tienditas. Hey man, I looked at this chocolate, and I said, man, look at they got them all designed like bugs, like big potato bugs and stuff, right? But
Okay.
what I found out later is that they were actually potato bugs.
Oh,
Right? Right, exactly. I didn't know that, right? But Geneva had it was old.
Dang.
Napoleon used to walk down the streets of Geneva, and all these people all the Romans used to walk down the streets of Geneva, and so it was cool being there. And England had their own thing with the Tower of London, right? And so every place I went, I tried to figure out what was cool about it. And there's
yeah.
every place has something cool. Pittsburgh got something cool, right? It
Right.
doesn't matter. So I came back after a number of years, and I found out that they weren't doing anything for Latinos in Pittsburgh. There was no Cinco de Mayo. There was no La Raza Club. I worked at the college. I got involved, and next thing you knew, somebody raised my hand, and I was running for Contra Costa Community College District Board, right? And then I won district. And so I've been in the district for 4 years, and I'm running for reelection this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun, right? And I
Ooh.
still
Well,
got, I
we would love to know why you're running again. Like what about your last 4 years
what
made you
it's
say,
really
I want to do this in 4 years?
well, it's really easy for me. because it's all about the students and it's all about their families. And I demystify, and I have a lot of connections, and we demystify higher education to make people think, oh man, I can do it. Okay. And I show them the way, and I demystify the financial aid component. Okay. So people are freaked out, and people are freaked out about how much time they need to spend in college and stuff, So, I sit down and I talk to them. I said, a lot of people are coming to college, not just from high school, but there's a lot of reentry students coming in, you know, 18 to 34 years old, even older. The last person that graduated LMC,
Mhm.
70 years old. 70 years
Oh,
old.
wow.
Got it. Yeah, got a degree. 70 years old. Okay. So I want to think about that. And then, so we work hard to help the students. And then my thing, I don't help the students. I help the whole family. Hey, what's going on? And I get workshops, and I do workshops and say, come on down. Oh, well, I can't come on down because I got to feed the kids. Bring the kids. Well, I got to
Oh,
feed
I
them.
love
We'll
the
feed.
workshops that
We'll,
get put on
we'll,
at LMC. Love them.
right, right. We'll feed them for you. Right. We'll do that, and we
Right.
get them. We get them involved in STEM science fairs, and there's a lot of people that are wondering. Well, I'm not sure if I'm college material. Everybody is educational material to help themselves. I'll give you an example. About last year, 900 people graduated with their associate's degree, right? But
Hmm.
we also offer certificate programs and occupational therapy and nursing and firefighting, all kinds of stuff. And we gave out over 300 certificates, right, of people doing different type of work, right? And they move on. There's some people I know that switch from being going into finance to switch into nursing, and nursing's big. Nursing is huge. Early childhood education is big. So we help people with childhood education. Not also talking about when you bring your kids in, we watch them for you. Don't worry
Right.
about it. We'll take care of them. And we got food banks. We got food for you, right? And you need some extra money for transportation. We got your transportation stipends for you. So we do a lot of different things to help. We have a big foundation that helps with if kids are having trouble with money, to help them with it. And we gave out, just to let you know, last year we gave out over 20,000 free tuition scholarships.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's
Right. So
huge.
so think about that, right? 20,000 free tuition, because 70% of the kids are part timers. But we grab these full timers that want to do it, and we help them. And then they transfer to Cal State. You see Berkeley, you see Davis, but we're there to help them in their journey so they can learn about themselves, so they can learn if they're interested in leadership skills. They want to learn how to play loteria, right? We're going to learn
Right.
how to want to be involved with other kids, and that's what we stress with them, is be involved in other programs and other students, and get to know each other, right?
And the community, the way that LMC is set up is so unique, in my opinion, because I go to LMC also part time, a couple of classes a
Yeah.
semester, and some of
That's
my
the
best
way,
friends
girl.
in my classes are 19, and I'm 49.
Right. Think about
I
that. Think
get
about
great
that.
study buddies.
Oh, think about that. That's huge, right?
That the
And you know what?
generational gap does not exist is how LMC makes me feel.
Oh yeah, and we've been pouring money from the bonds into the new bookstore, into the new student union, right?
Right.
And other facilities, right? And the student union, man, you go in there and people are playing ping pong, and they're jamming. Everybody's like pumped,
They
and nobody
are.
wants to leave, right? You know how the
Just so
energy
you
is
know,
there.
it's not ping pong, it's tennis.
Table
And I
tennis,
know that you
excuse
know
me.
who I'm telling you says that.
Oh, you know that, right?
Oh, yeah, he would be very upset with us if we called it ping pong.
Table tennis. I know, and there's a lot of things to do there, and they're always updating the curriculum, and they're always raising their bar on what else we can do for students, right?
And
And
you
then
have
what
some
else we
really
can
unique
do.
teachers, too, that write their own textbooks.
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, that's part of our open educational resources. And right now, so what it was before you go in and there's a thing with tuition, you got to pay your fees and all that. But then you got to pay a lot of money for textbooks, 300, $400 a book,
Yeah,
right? So
right.
with open educational resources, we had the professors write their own curriculum. So now we have at least 50% of the classes for free textbooks. And we want to go ahead and get that done and make it
And
100%.
and I love that, and I love that your computer systems interlink with the textbooks.
Oh yeah,
So
but
that
you
there's
know the
more
other
than one way to do it. Do you
yeah,
take
and a
into
lot
accountability the all abilities? All different people can learn whatever way
uh,
they see. Your
because
school
there's
is
different.
amazing.
Oh, there you go. So everybody learns different. Also, on the technology side, if you join and get in and get in the system, we'll give you a free laptop. We'll give you free hotspots. We want to empower you to learn. That's our job, is to help you learn, right? And we have so many cool counselors and so many cool professors that are interested in helping you.
Oh
And that's
yeah,
the
no,
thing
I
that
agree.
right? And that's
Now
the
we
thing
could
about
talk
it.
all day long about LMC, but we're really not here to sell LMC today.
All right, all right.
Because I mean, I could sit here and have a conversation with you all day; it would never stop.
And
Okay,
I
well,
Um,
let's talk about.
add my
but
two
I
cents.
want to know what achievements that did you make on the board last year, like in the last
Okay,
4 years? What things did
oh,
you
oh,
do?
okay. I'll tell you what I did. I'm responsible on the board of certain things. So one of the things we did is we selected a permanent chancellor, and we had not had a permanent chancellor in over 5 years. Moja Medezada is awesome. She's been in District 35 years. And we selected a permanent president LMC, a permanent president of Contra Costa County, a permanent chief financial officers. And so what we did is we stabilized the leadership of the college, because you can't get anything done without good leadership, and it's got to come from the top, right? We did
Right.
that. We also worked on, and so the four things about what I'm doing in the college, four things that I drive, okay? One of them is educational excellence and equity, and we'll talk about that. The next thing is preparing the future workforce and creating a vibrant economy. The next thing is fiscal accountability and transparency. And the last thing is community outreach and partnerships. So not only that we do that, we've been working on enrollment. Because of the pandemic, we lost a lot of people, right? But
Yeah.
we've been working on different things. And one of the things we worked on is a distance learning pedagogy, right? Because before you had to go into class, right? Well, with
Mhm.
the pandemic, no one would be able to go to class, right? So we came up and changed our classes to be distance learning, to be hybrid. And right now, about 50% of the students like and are doing distance learning, and it's here to stay.
Oh,
It's
good.
here to stay. It's here to stay, and a lot of people like it, right? But there's a lot of the young first-time students. They'd rather be in the class with the professor to get the feel for it. But it
Right.
takes people. But it takes people a good 6 years to finish community college work, right? Sometimes
Right.
7, right? But so we did this hybrid learning stuff, okay. And also, what we did is, beyond the transparency, is change the class model. So guess what? You know how you take a class and you either pass or fail a
Yeah.
test? Well, now we changed that. We say, hey, that's not what it's about. It's about helping students. So now we give students extra credit, because we don't want them to fail. We got to give them opportunities to advance. So that's a big thing. Okay. So beyond that stuff, we are driving our DEI. You guys know what DEI is?
Tell us what DEI is.
Okay, I'll give you the layman's term. DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, and a lot of people aren't sure what that means. Okay, but let's take the first one, diversity. Okay, we as a community college district, okay, we take on anybody who wants to be a student. Anybody. That's diversity. We take on people that have kids. That's diversity. We take on veterans. That's diversity. We take on different demographics. That's diversity. We take on the LGBTQ. That's diversity. We bring everybody in. Okay. And so we make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to access the college and all of its myriad support systems, right? So that's the big thing about diversity is that we care about everybody, and we're not going to go ahead and shut somebody down because they live in a certain part of the neighborhood or don't speak the language that well. We will help them with the language, right? Doesn't matter, right? So that's the big thing about us is DEI diversity, okay? And the next thing is equity. What does equity really mean? Equity really means for us is to make sure that everybody gets the same resources as everybody else without discrimination, without undue implicit bias, because there's bias out there. And so we make sure that, right, that from an equity perspective, everybody gets the same shot, right? So not only do we bring everybody in, we give everybody the opportunities to succeed. And if they got issues, and the thing about it is, if you think about it, some people have more financial issues than other students, right? So guess what? We work with different programs to help them overcome those financial difficulties. And some kids have mental problems. Well, we got a telehealth program that we help with kids that have mental issues. And we sit down and we support them, and we get down and talk to them. And the counselors sit down. Of course, we need to get more counselors than we do. Okay, so that's diversity, equity, and inclusion. The inclusion part is listening to the voices of our students. When they say something's not right, we got to listen to them, and we got to figure out a solution to help build that bridge and that connection. Okay, and they need to be included in our shared governance model. We have right now on our board, we have a student trustee for all the students, and that person was elected but by all the colleges, and the colleges have their own associated students. But we have that student trustee is the most important person on the board, because that's the person that keeps us grounded. Hey, what's going on? What's going on with the students? And they let us know, and we talk to them, right? So the inclusion part is that if somebody comes into a meeting, okay, and maybe it's a younger student, older student, hey, we got to listen to what they're saying, and we got to go ahead and sit down and write it down, and actually go in and talk about what they say and put a program around certain things so they can be included going forward. Because we want people to feel like all the colleges, it belongs to them, because it does, right? It's a DIB, DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging. We want you to feel it, and that's what we're doing at all the colleges, and you see it firsthand at LMC. So, okay, so now let's talk. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have a quick question. Like with all the students and having this, what's the biggest issue? Like, what are the top 2 issues that they come to you with?
Okay, I'm going to tell you because there's a myriad of choices and stuff. So my biggest issue that I'm working on, okay, is persistence. You know what persistence is? You guys heard that word? Persistence, right? That word really means is like, okay, if we got all these students that come in and they sign up, they want to go to college, and you give them hope, right? Well, the reality is 40% of the first year students drop out after the first year. That's a lot. 40%. That's a lot. And that's not unusual to our college. It's all the colleges and community colleges and nationwide. So we got to find a way to get closer to them, right? To figure out what we could do to help them stay in school. Because what happens is, in that situation, if a student drops out, it does not only affect him, it affects his family. Because the little brother and little sister see this person dropping out, well, I'm probably not going to do good either, so they don't even try. And then sometimes what happens is a lot of the issues are economic, right? There's a lot of economic issues because a lot of families want their kids to get out of community college so they can work and bring money to the household, right? So and that's normal. So we're trying to find a way to bring more stipends to kids and more programs so they don't have to go over the hill to Concord and do part-time work. Hey, you know what? We want them to do work at the college.
Right on campus too. I had a
yes,
on-campus job too.
Right. Bingo. So that's what we're doing more of. part-time
Yeah.
work on campus, right? And so we're trying to find that way. So I think that's one thing: persistence, kids dropping out. And the other thing that's big that nobody really talks about is that there's a lot of kids that because of the pandemic, uh, um, they have issues with comfort, right? Because some people just aren't comfortable going to college. Some people aren't comfortable being around other people. Some people aren't comfortable asking questions. So we got to get them out of that. We got to get them comfortable and secure in their future and their pathway. So those are the big things, right? That we're working on. All right.
So is
So
that when you talk about I guess, okay, so my brain is going to something else now, and it might be your next topic. I'm not
go ahead.
sure.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I mean, we're talking about diversity and equity and inclusion, and then we're talking about comfort levels of students. Is that what dual enrollment is?
No. That's different. So when we talk about comfort levels for students, I'll give you an example. We have an LGBT community at Country Cross College. So
Mhm.
okay, so they have a community of interest and comfort, and they know they can go there. We have the emotional program for the black students, the leaders. They can go there. We have the Puente program for the Latino kids, and they all get together there, right? And I like that because they're all sharing their culture together, right? They're
Right.
all sharing their culture together. But I tell them because I'm an OG. I said, hey, go join a club for people that don't look like you,
Yeah.
so you can understand their culture, and bring them into your club so they can understand your culture, right?
Mhm.
And I said, because the reality is when you finish school, you're going to be going out in the community, and you're going to have to be dealing with all these different cultures, and you need to be prepared to understand their context and how they're feeling. And I talked to them about that, you know. And you know what? Sooner or later, bring all these people together so they can sell tacos together, right? Right?
Right.
A big taco fest. Man, imagine a big taco fest with all the cultures in the college there. Party down, right? And they need to get comfortable and respect each other. So part of what we do is we try to teach them about community, right? And so
Yeah.
that's a big thing, right?
So that's what the dual enrollment is.
No,
The
no,
dual
no, no.
enrollment.
That's no, 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 no. So that's the community side diversity, right?
That's
Dual,
the comfort level.
Okay, yeah, so
All
right, the
right.
comfort level. So dual enrollment, we have these things called CCAPs, community college agreements, and we have them MOUs, memorandums of understandings, with a bunch of high schools all over the county,
Right.
Pittsburgh, Antioch, Liberty. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So the purpose of this dual enrollment is to give kids the opportunity in high school in 11th and 12th grade to take some college classes, right? And
Right.
and and what we do is, and they're credits. They get credits, and then what they do is we'll have some classes at the college, and we'll have some classes at the high school, and we shuttle them back and forth, right?
Oh,
And so
nice.
and then we have different programs for them depending upon what they like, right? And we got a set of books and the whole thing, and it's a dance, really. It's a dance with the different schools and what they'll
Right.
allow. And so sometimes what happens is some of these kids have their AS degree before they even graduate from high school because they do so much of it,
Oh,
right? Think
wow.
about that. Think about that. So now, if they graduate from high school, they already got their 2 years completion. That's 2 years of work they don't have to do, and they can go ahead and go to a 4-year university, a 4-year school, a Cal
They're
State,
saving a
off
ton
the
of money
top.
that way.
Right, and they save a ton of money that way, right? And we demystify we demystify the college classes, and then they're like, cool, they're jamming, and they're teaching little kids. So right now, and we're trying to expand that, and I'll give you an example. Pittsburgh high school students have about 600 students in dual enrollment.
Oh,
600
nice.
students. Think
How big
that's a
is
ton
this?
of
How big
students.
is their school?
3,000.
Oh, that's a
3,000.
huge chunk.
Right. And then Antioch, and we got to work with them. You know about Antioch in that school, and they have like 237.
Girl.
So there's an area for us that we got to work on. And then what's the other one? Liberty, they have 400 students, but we are being very successful in doing this. This is the new model, the new pathway for education to help kids. And not all kids want to do it. Some kids do concurrent enrollment, but this
So I
is the
was
dual
part of
enrollment.
the pilot program to do this back in 1993.
No way!
Yeah.
Excellent. Look
I
what you
was in the
did.
very first group that you guys brought into the college.
Look what you've done. You
I
are a
know,
pioneer.
right?
You
They
are
take
a
our whole bus,
pioneer. Hey,
our whole
hey, you
class.
know what? You know what? You should consider, and I'll bring in with student life to come in and talk about that as being one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
first students. Yeah, because students love hearing from other students.
Yeah,
right?
I think there were
And
60 of us total.
right, and
Yeah,
it's
there were
huge.
60 of
And
us.
in fact, there's some new things that we're trying to do with CCAP. We started a STEM academy, okay, with CCAP in Ignacio Valley High School. Okay, and I'll give you some stats people don't know. Ignacio Valley High School. Okay, what percentage of Latinos do you think there are in Ignacio Valley? What do you think?
I think it's very low.
You think it's very low,
22.
right?
I think it's very low, but I'm going back to when I was in school where that area, when I was growing up, was very white.
Okay, well, I tell you what, it's changed. 88% are Latinos.
Wow.
Okay, think about that change. Our
Wow.
demographics have changed, right? So we got to
Right.
put more Latino programs there, right?
Definitely.
Right, that's what we're doing. So I started one of the things I started this year, besides what I talked about, bringing in some new leadership, is I put together a partnership between United Latino Voices, Monte Diablo Unified School District, and DVC, where we teach them how to connect and augment to the Latino community, and we teach them how to do it because they don't know how to do it. I'll give you an example. Here's a number. It's gonna trip you out. You guys ready?
Okay.
What's the biggest college in the district? DVC, right? And it teaches 28,000 students. DVC, 28,000 students. Those numbers, 28,000 students, and they have outreach programs, right? Okay, okay. For the outreach programs, 28,000 students, and they only had one person that was bilingual.
Wow.
28,000 students, and of those 28,000 students, 33% were Latino. 33% are Latino.
So when you say that only one was bilingual, it was English and what was the other language?
Spanish, English and Spanish. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But only one. And because they didn't have an outreach strategy for Latinos, and they don't have outreach strategies for people of different cultures. And that's what I'm bringing to them, to focus on that, right? To get out there and start preparing. So that's one thing I did, is very successful, and we're going to have another contract coming up this year. I also restarted a relationship between John F. Kennedy University and National University in the College District. Have you heard of John F. Kennedy University?
I have. They took over the building I used to work in.
Right, they took over the building. Right. Well, they used to drive big nursing.
I almost went there just because my great uncle was Jackie Kennedy's bodyguard when he was a Secret Service many years ago.
That's big.
I almost went there because of that. Because I was like, okay, John F. Kennedy, business, something that I ended up going to. But it's a nice building.
Oh, it's a very nice building. So I got them to restart the relationship. Right. So that's what I do. And then I go out in the community and talk to different people about different programs and stuff like that. But then I go beyond that. I'm working on a program right now. Have you guys heard of the Port Chicago 50?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the Port Chicago 50 just got exonerated by the Secretary of Defense, right? They
finally.
them.
What about the descent?
They pardoned them. Okay.
So the descendants will get the benefits next, right?
But there are no benefits. Right. So
That's
what I'm doing, I'm working with the national legislative directors so we can bring them benefits. So I'll give you an example of some of the things they lost. They were in jail. They went to jail. They got court-martialed. They lost the ability to get GI benefits, to get housing, right? All that stuff they lost. Right. So my thing I'm working on is making them whole, so that all the children and grandchildren in the Port Chicago 50 get free college, 100%. I'm working on that.
They
Right,
should too. That's a great thing. So,
right. So I'm working on that.
so that kind of leads into other things that you're doing, because I know that you're working on lowering costs for students, books and things like that, and different resources. What can you tell us about those kinds of things that you've been working on?
Well, I tell you, the stuff that we're working on, EOP, we number one, we talked about the free tuition for that, but the free tuition is only for full time students. We got 70% of them are part timers. Okay, so
Oh.
some of the things, 70% are part timers. That's a big number, and so we got
We're
to
really
figure
missing
out.
out too, because this deal that they've got going on is how I got my
There,
kids through college.
right. And I talk, and so part of the thing is when they go for counseling, they go back, well, I don't know if I want to take a class, take too many classes, because I don't know. And the counselors should flip around. No, you got to take it because you'll be done faster and you get all this free financial help, right?
Right.
And let us help you. Let us help you with your courses, right? Right. And so part of that is that we put together a food pantry program so kids can come in and just get food whatever they want, whenever they
Right.
want. They get food. Okay. Also have another program where we have a housing crisis, right?
Hmm.
And we know that's a big problem. And some of the kids sleep in their cars, and some of the kids are couch surfing, right?
Hmm.
And there's a lot of different reasons. So what we do is we work with programs to identify rental assistance, and we put kids together in like alumni, so they can work with each other, and maybe they'll be able to afford a place together. So we do that kind of stuff, right? All
Hmm.
right, and so we give them the food. We also work with them and their fast food, depends where they're at, to give them transportation stipends, so they don't have to pay all that money on Tri Delta, right? So we
Right.
help them do that, and we also make sure we check them out, and then guess what we do? We qualify a bunch of people for SNAP, right?
Oh,
For
nice.
food benefits. And before you couldn't do that. You weren't allowed to do that. But we worked with legislation and got that done, right? We also worked on this program called LEAP, Learning Online Education Program, where we would get employers to get students to intern, right? And they would get them to intern. They would have to pay the students money from $18 to $25 an hour, depending upon what they're doing. And at the end of the internship, we reimburse the employers 90% of the money they spent
Oh,
on
that's
our
really
students.
nice. Is that
So
through
that's a big.
Handshake?
What's that? No, no,
Are
it's
you doing that
official.
through
It's
Handshake? No.
no, 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 no. We actually got $1 million in a grant for every college to do that,
Oh,
right?
nice.
So we work on doing that, and so we still doing a lot of work on the faculty side too, where I'll give you an example. They were having trouble uh, getting faculty, right? And they would hire people. They try to hire people, and especially minority faculty, especially Latinos. So I told them, hey, you got a lot of Latino faculty that are part-time faculty that are adjunct professors. Hey, they already know what they're doing. They're already part of your pedagogy. They already know your policies and what they're doing. And the kids love them. They're doing this work. Why don't you just go ahead and put them through some leadership programs and bring them up and make them faculty? So now they're starting to do that,
Nice.
right? So my job, as I see it, right? So my job, as I see it, is I'm a connector. I'm a visionary. I let them know, hey, this is what we try. This, we try that. Another thing that I just started working on is the veterans. We'll start with the veterans, and there's 3 different veterans resource centers. Well, veterans have a lot of mental illness, right? Post-traumatic stress syndrome. I'll give you a number. 90% of them suffer from it.
Oh, wow.
Post-traumatic stress syndrome and mental
Is this
issues.
these are including the ones that are not combat?
Yes, including them, right?
Oh, so sad.
Right, and that's a crazy number, right? It's a crazy
It's
number.
it's
So,
crazy.
so I'm working with them to connect with this wellness organization that provides that kind of treatment, where they do Reiki treatment, sound treatment, where they sit down with them, and it's for free, so they can get the help that they need. And so I'm constantly trying to do
That's on
stuff
the
like that.
campuses.
Well, they would have to leave the campus and
Mm-hmm.
go to a center, right? And go to a center and check it out. But they have some virtual stuff that they do virtually. They connect with, right? So it's a new program. We're trying to get that going. But we have to be careful. I can tell you that, and funding, because you need to know about the financial side. Um, um, I'll give you a number. $250 million a year is what the college gets kids, and that sounds like a lot of money, huh? $250 million a year. Okay, but 90% of that goes to salaries, wages, and pension benefits. It doesn't leave a lot, for other stuff, right? And also, we have this thing saying that we have to spend all our money in the classroom. We can't spend our money outside the classroom, or else we have to hire somebody else. It's called the 50% rule. And UC, Cal State don't have that 50% rule, which means and tell you what, the people that don't count as faculty are the librarians, are the counselors, and all these people, right? They help the students. And guess what? Which means we're not able to hire more support staff to provide all the different support services for all the diversity of the challenges that people bring. And so we're trying
Yeah,
to
because it's not
get
cookie
the
cutter. Not every student is the same.
no,
That's for
right,
sure.
right. And so
Patty, you
and
had a
so we're going.
question.
Go ahead,
Just
Patty.
just a quick comment about the Veterans Center. I was part of lobbying at the Capitol to make sure that we had a full-time funded staff member for veterans at the Veteran Resource Centers at community colleges in California. So I'm glad that, there was a few veterans. There was a couple, like 20, 30 maybe of us that lobbied and we got it. Not
That's
so much
big.
services after the fact, because years later I went by knocking and I had somebody in the back like hiding, like she didn't see me. So that's another story. But
Right, right, right.
I'm glad that we established that line for veterans to have somebody fully staffed when we needed them. But yeah.
Oh, you did such an impact. I'm working with another group of people that provide veterans housing for veteran students,
Great.
right? And trying to do that for them because I'm a veteran myself, so that's near and dear to my heart,
Okay.
right? And if I'm in a position to help, I'm going to help, right?
Absolutely. That's
And,
us right here.
right. And the other thing is,
You
we're
can be our
doing.
friend. That's our circle here.
Hey, let me
Help
tell
you.
you. Let's be friends because one of the things that we're doing, and your show is one of them, is community outreach and partnerships.
Mhm.
Okay, so we just started. We used to do this thing called State of the District, where we go to the district and sit down and talk about everything, right? And we go to the library of the district, right? Well, after a while, nobody started showing up, and especially people in the community didn't show up. So I tell them, hey, you got to do something different. You got to go where the community is at. So we just started a program, and we starting to go to community. So we just went to the city council in San Ramon. We just did the Pittsburgh City Council 2 weeks ago. We're going to go to the Antioch City Council so we can reconnect with them. Let them know the
Yeah.
things that we're doing. Let them know the things that we're doing. We want to hear from them what kind of things they want, so we can create newer partnerships. And that's what
Right.
we need to do because the colleges are an asset of the community. People don't think that. They think it's just for people
No,
going
those
to
are
school.
huge. Those are
But it's
huge.
huge, right?
They're
And you know
huge.
what? If people want to have meetings at the colleges, they can, right? They
Yep.
got to fill out some paperwork, but you can have meetings at the college,
Right.
right? And
That's
bring
good to
people
hear.
in, and bring people in. So all you really have to do, because you have to pay for your insurance. Hey, just get one of the clubs to support you, and if the club supports you, you're in. If the club doesn't support you, you have to show them proof of insurance, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's a liability. It's a liability issue, but it's available, and then you can just schedule with their schedule what kind of stuff you want to get into, and you know how cool the colleges are
Oh, I
nowadays,
do.
right? And so we did, with the bond measures, we went ahead and did the new student union, the new kinesiology lab. Okay, the new store. Okay, we did
The
the new
new
science
campus
building in
in
Contra,
Brentwood.
the new campus, Kim Brentwood, the new science building in Contra Costa College. And we're not done because you know what? A lot of these buildings were built 50, 60 years ago. And
Yeah.
guess what? They need maintenance. You know, you them buildings don't stand by themselves. You know, where you get water and goes into electrical conduits and all that. So we got to do a lot more work. And it seems like it's something that should automatically be done, but it takes a lot when you're building, you know,
Yeah.
campuses, especially new ones where you're bringing stuff in. So I'm working on that, and we're going to work on a newer bond issue so we can get some more money so we can build some more. But you know, one of the buildings. I give you one thing we were trying to do is we're trying to build the dormitory at LMC,
That's
right?
perfect, especially in
Uh,
this economy with the kids and the
right,
money
right,
and how
right,
many
and
kids
we're
we have in foster care that age out
right,
that don't have places to live.
right, right. So we're trying to
You
do
know what
that.
else I love? Maybe you've heard of this
Uh,
before. And I'm just going to say this because, you know, I am an advocate. I do go out there. I see where people live. I see where people don't live. I feed them. You know, I go out and I help with like spiritual healing and things like that. But one of the things that I think that other colleges do that I would love, love, love to see our colleges do is to have safe parking lots at night for those students that do have to stay
Bingo!
indoors.
Bingo! I'm working with the police. So connect with me and let's make it happen.
Let's make that happen. You guys in?
Let's make it happen. All we gotta decide
Yeah.
is to
I'm
do it
in.
and put our resources and our energy to it, and they can't stop us, right? And
Right.
that's our political. That's our power.
Because they have winter night at some of the churches. I don't see why we can't have that for our
I,
students.
I'm going to advocate for that at the next board meeting. How about
Well,
that?
when's that board meeting? Where am I going?
Okay, okay. I'm gonna give you the link. So the
All right.
board meetings are the second Wednesday of every month at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, and we get the agenda out a couple days before the board
Okay. And
meeting. The public's
where
invited.
do you guys have the
Okay,
meeting at?
okay. So we have the meetings in Martinez, okay, but we also have them on Zoom.
Ooh,
Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
Patty.
so you can get on
Zoom, Patty.
Zoom, and then if you got, and then as as we have also public comment. So if you have a public comment that you want to talk about, you just submit the form, and then you will talk about it, and then you have to hear us. It's like 3 minutes of public comment, but you can talk about it to get conversation started. So
Yeah.
you can either have public comment about something we're doing on the agenda, right? That maybe you don't like, or maybe we didn't think about, or you can just pull public comment in general
Yeah.
for anything
But
that you can come up
I
with.
love the dorms and I love this safe place for the
Uh,
students. I love the
yeah,
food pantry.
right.
I love the diversity. I love trying to make getting your materials free. I love the different ways that you can communicate with your teachers.
Oh
I want to
man, right?
know. I want to know if there was only one bilingual instructor. Where are we at now?
Well, we're not there yet, so I'm going to tell you. Okay.
Oh, you went silent.
Well, the sound gets fixed. I'm gonna cut out shortly. I gotta leave now, but y'all are amazing. It's been a pleasure learning about Fernando. I will see you all soon in the community at a next meeting, and just keep running into each other. So y'all have a good one. I will see you later. And
All right.
Fernando
Bye.
fixes.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Did we fix
Fernando,
that sound, Fernando?
I'm there in the sound.
There
Okay,
it
we
is.
hear you again.
He's back.
Nope,
Or is he?
back.
Hold on. How about
There.
now?
Now
There
you're
he
good.
is.
Okay, so we're talking about the faculty. The numbers aren't with us yet. 47% of the students at LMC are Latino. 47% about, right?
Okay.
And only 20% of the faculty are Latino.
Mm.
Okay, and that's the number. Okay, and that's the kind of number we see across all our campuses.
Okay.
right? Right, and part of it. Remember, they said they couldn't find Latino faculty. Remember, we talked about that, right? And we're
Right.
trying to change that. We're trying to change that. And the thing about it is, we have to be very careful because the law says you cannot hire people based on race.
Affirmative
Okay, but
action.
but affirmative action helps. But we put in our EEO in part of EEO, right? A part of our EEO plan, we put programs in there to help us achieve better. So we're gonna keep doing that. And part of the thing is this. I'll give you an example. If you're in LA and you're a professor and there's an opportunity in we'll say LMC, right?
Mm-hmm.
LMC to come be a professor. Okay. Knowing the Latino community, right? The Latino community is very cultured. They like to hang out at home,
Yeah.
right? So
At
what's going
home.
to drive that? What's going to drive that person to want to come all the way to Pittsburgh to want to deal with the high cost of living where he doesn't know nobody versus staying home, being with their cousins, their tios, and everybody they know, and waiting for the opportunity at home? What would you do?
Carlos, this is for you.
Right? What would you do? Right?
Carlos would
So,
sell tacos. He would get an event going. He would have a
Yeah,
car
right.
show.
And you
all
know
at the
what?
same time.
Some of the issues that we have is we got some highly tenured Latino faculty, and they leave to go to another school that pays them a lot more money. That's the challenge,
Yeah.
right? So we gotta find a way to let them know that they're pioneers, to let them know that they're transformational, to let them know what the good things are in the Delta. Right? There's
Yeah.
all kinds of cool things in the Delta, and let them know. Bring them over and let them interview and take them over to a car show,
Right.
right? And stuff like that. That's what they got
Yeah,
to
a lot
do.
of them
They,
coming up.
they 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 haven't figured that out yet. But I tell them, you gotta sell the area as
You got
much
to
as you
sell
gotta
the
sell
area
the
and you got to
school.
sell at their interests because I believe that
Yes,
that most
exactly.
Latino people that I meet are very religious, and if our I
Right.
mean, there's things that need to be done to accommodate them because, like, if you look at the way that and you'll know this already, but if you look at the way our different communities are structured, is we all kind of gather together. Like, there's a lot of Asian people in Pleasant Hill. There's a lot of Hispanic people in Pittsburgh. There's a
Oh,
lot
I
of
got I got the numbers. 15% Asian in our schools. 15%.
yeah. And is the
Nine
numbers
nine
higher
percent black.
probably at
9% black.
DVC than they are at
A,
LMC?
a little bit. A
Yeah.
little bit. A little bit. But there's more gavachos at DVC,
Oh.
right? And
Well,
that's what
that
you
number's
see.
growing.
Yeah. And so they're
That
at the
number
San
has to be
Ramon camp
growing.
and that San Ramon campus. Yeah. And guess what? We have challenges. What are the challenges for getting enrollment? These kids, hey man, they can go in and out burger and make $22 an hour.
They
Right?
can.
So now they can go ahead and get more money in their pocket instead of coming to college. So they got to make a decision, right? And so our discussion is, hey, you know what?
It's
Let's just
cost of
figure out
living. It's the
right.
cost of
It's
living,
cost
I'm
of
sure of
living.
it.
Yeah, because they got to pay for the car, they got to pay for their rent, right? And they got to pay for their money for the social stuff, right?
Right.
Right? All that stuff. So we got to find a way to, like, one of the things I came up with. Tell me what you think about this, right?
Okay.
One of the things I'm trying to advocate for is for a full-time student, right? For to go
Mhm.
from part-time to full-time. So if you go full-time, you get more federal aid, right?
Right.
And you'll finish faster, right?
Right.
So you'll be able to get economic empowered. So what I'm trying to do, and I'm talking to people, and there's some pushback, but some people like it, is trying to have housing stipends.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So then we can say, okay, we're going to give you a housing stipend, okay, because we want you to stay living at home, right? And give some of that money to your mom or your dad to help them. And you got some
Right.
money in your pocket too, right? And that's one of the things I'm trying to do is housing stipends because and it'll pay for itself,
You know, they did a
right?
couple of them during the pandemic because they sent me out $1,000 and I don't even know what I did for that.
Right,
I was like,
exactly. We did
woohoo!
that, right?
But
So
it got me my trip to go watch my son get out of boot camp
That's
back
what's
in
up.
Missouri,
that's
so that
big.
was nice.
I remember when I was in boot camp.
Oh yeah. So Mr. Sandoval, Fernando,
Yeah.
you have been such a blessing. Thank you so much for joining our show. We're going to start wrapping up. There's a couple of little announcements that we want to do. We have grassroots poetry coming up on Friday in Antioch at the Ivy House.
The Lynn House, 809 Westford.
Yeah, the Lynn House. Sorry, I always want to call it the Ivy House. Maybe that's the one next
It's all
door.
good.
Anyways, Jose is amazing. He got me to read a poem, and I'm not a poet. I haven't been a poet since I was a young kid. He brings vendors in there. Carla, if you want to try Carlos's tacos, come get some tacos.
I was just gonna say that. So you see the logo right there.
If you are feeling the tacos, we've got Carlos.
I'll be making
it is this
tacos
beautiful
tomorrow.
tapestry I have behind me. I got from one of their artists that they have at the events. And I have to tell you, out of all of the things that are free in Antioch that you can do, this one is the best because it truly is a collaboration of people and their hearts.
He did a great job of putting it all together.
Right.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
And
so come out to do that. Vote for Fernando. He's got a official. Did your press release come out this morning?
I'm waiting to put it out.
Sorry.
Okay.
Press release today.
Watch for that press release. We'll have to share it here on our social media.
We'll do it to you.
And we're looking forward to advancing, especially Carlos might tell you his secret later, but we're looking forward to the advancement of Black and brown people in our community. And we love your inclusion and your diversity. And thank you for making that a priority.
Yes.
Oh, that's the priority, man. That is the priority. Hey, you know what? Hopefully I was informative today and being able to give you some insights to what we're doing because we're all part of the same community and we all got to know this. We all got to know this, right? And that's my job is to get the word out, right? And that's how we do it.
If you want to talk later in the election year or in between elections, you just let us know. We want to hear your voice. We want to know what's going on.
Yeah. Definitely, I'm going to tell you some other new stuff that I got going on because I always got something cooking. Just like Carlos and the tacos.
We're looking forward to you.
Right,
and we're looking forward to your additional chapters. But don't let that date on the book now.
All right, you know they're coming.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, right.
All right, thank you all for joining us again.
Thank you very
Before we
much.
go off, I just want to say also, besides the tacos I'm going to be selling, I'm bringing some Chicano artwork that I made, and I'll be selling that too, that you can hang on your wall and pride.
Are you going to do some of the Chicano fusion African artwork that you have?
Oh, I did that the one time in honor of my great grandfather, who came from Africa and then was freed in Mexico, So that's a good story. I'll talk about that too. You can see, I think I put it on my Instagram.
Okay. But, we'll share it on the show too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all.
Anyway, okay, guys.
I want to end with this. There you go. Select Fernando Sandoval. Contra Costa Community College.
El Chico.
That's right. And thank you all for tuning in to this special time. We won't have the show tonight. It was today, so we got a comment. Let's see. Oh, Sean saying hi. And
hey, you got a few people jumped on. That's good.
Shout out,
and then
Sean.
We'll still post it tonight at 8:00 for all of our loyal viewers.
Right. Yeah, I want a link to watch the show.
Yeah, we'll get it to you. Just give us about 10 minutes.
Right. So,
we got time.
With that, let's go back to here. With that, thank you all for tuning in. Again, it's every Thursday. It should be at 8:00, but it looks like all these elected officials may have different times, so we may have to adapt to their time. So I don't want to say 8 p.m. next week, but we'll see. Okay, and we'll let you guys know. But you got to follow us on the East County Voices on Facebook. find out. So
Facebook, Instagram,
yeah,
and
check out the
YouTube.
YouTube channel. You guys can see Mary talking and some other people at the city council meeting. I'm going to be uploading some more videos soon too. So, and just thank you all for your support, and thank you, Fernando, for your time. I really do appreciate it. And Mary, thank you for interviewing, and Patty, Miss Patty too. So with that, I'll say goodbye, peace, love. We'll see you soon.